So this is the mind map that I developed for the smartphone, and then I was showing the different kinds of networks. The ones that are in red are the groups that would align to support the brand image. In this case, the image of the brand image is the smartphone. So I put together cell phone companies, marketers, advertisers, cell phone users, all the different companies who would, in this case, support the image that cell phones are trendy, smart, cool, slim, sexy, innovative, new. But also I have other networks here, what I call the blue networks. And the blue networks, in this case, would be factory workers who may be exposed to certain toxics, miners who work in the mining fields, also workers who are maybe working in the production and manufacturing of plastics, whose stories are less prominent, are not often told. In addition to the blue networks, I also have the green networks, and I chose the green networks to show certain environmental costs. So these would be all the effects of producing, extracting, manufacturing, disposing cell phones, and the effects that it would have on the environment. Okay, so I share this with the students, and they're working right now on developing their own mind map to show similar kinds of interacting networks. Okay, so you're working on the hair dye, okay? And you've done some research to find out what are all the things that are involved.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep in mind when you're doing this, right? Think about what we learned from Annie Leonard about this, from the story of stuff, the different stages in the life cycle of a product, and for example, what's involved in producing a hair dye, right? During those extraction, where do we get the dyes? Where do we get the substances? What are some of the living and non-living things that are linked together, right? Or that link together in order for us to have this particular hair dye come to the shelves and for us to use it. And then, of course, what are some of the social and environmental costs associated with it? Okay.
Petrochemicals made from oil. Since when is oil an herb? On cosmetics labels, words like herbal, natural, even organic have no legal definition. That means that anybody can put anything in a bottle and call it natural, and they do. I mean, can you imagine if this was the most important choice? Your choice to be safe and healthy has already been made.
Okay, so you guys are watching the story of cosmetics?
Yeah.
Okay. Take some notes as you watch this. Even if your product is not necessarily a cosmetic, I think there's a lot here that Annie Leonard mentions that could be of use to you, okay? Okay, so you chose Vaseline. That's an interesting one, eh?
Yeah.
What made you choose that particular one?
Well, I went to my bathroom and I tried to find a product that was like a different kind. Because like, I know a lot of people do like makeup and stuff.
Sure. Do you use Vaseline?
Yeah, I use it like as a lip gel.
Okay. So what have you found out so far about this particular product? So when we look at it, here's some Vaseline. Seems like a simple entity, simple product, but what have you discovered about it that's a little bit, if we dig deeper?
It's petroleum jelly, which is like mined from oil rigs. And it's basically like a mixture of hydrocarbons, and the same petroleum jelly that's in Vaseline is also used in like gasoline and diesel fuels, and it's also used to stop battery terminal corrosion in cars, which is interesting because we use it
Yeah.
like on our
Do you think,
face
and I mean, I've always thought about Vaseline being a pretty safe. If I wanted to use anything to moisturize, I thought it would be a good moisturizer, I would use Vaseline before anything else. Now, am I correct in thinking that? Is it because Vaseline to me seems like a natural product?
It is, like, a lot of people use Vaseline because it's like the list of like ingredients on Vaseline is basically only petroleum jelly, and then like sometimes like coloring and that kind of thing.
So even if sometimes the list is just one ingredient, petroleum jelly, does that mean that there are no other social costs or environmental costs along the way? Things, people, and things that have been affected and used up in order for us to get this particular product tool?
Especially with Vaseline, what I found was that like they sell it in like very large containers, and I don't know, like have you ever finished a full container of Vaseline?
No.
Like actually emptied one and thrown it out?
I usually, if I have, I buy the little ones, right? So I
Yeah.
don't, because I know that the big ones are just gonna
Yeah.
sit there, and
And
if they have an
also,
expiry date, I
the
have.
Vaseline, that's what I looked up. The Vaseline company says that there's a 2-year expiry date, but when
Oh,
I
is that
looked up petroleum jelly, it said that it doesn't expire,
So
which I found interesting because Vaseline company is saying throw out the Vaseline
Huh.
in 2 years because it expires, but
Really?
other petroleum.
So I wonder why that would be. I mean, is it maybe are they adding something else in it that perhaps could
They could
be?
be adding something else, or they could just be getting you to throw out the old Vaseline to buy new Vaseline.
I wonder why would they not say, okay, 6 months expiry or even less if they really want us to kind of
Yeah,
keep buying it.
sure.
I don't know. It's good. Okay, carry on, please.
Contamination? Totally. Many responsible cosmetics companies have already put in safer products